Hey guys, I'm super excited to be here. I took my lunch hour today at my full-time job to talk to you a little bit about my story, and it never fails how nervous I get before I get on live. I can talk to people all the time, but when you look at yourself and you're watching yourself talk, it is so distracting. So I'll probably mess with my hair a lot because I'm fidgety and nervous, and I have like adult ADD, so it's fine. But I'm going to share with you my story. I'm a fast talker. Go ahead and go. I imagine people are probably doing their own things. I know you guys are busy moms, but I'm going to go ahead and keep talking because you guys can watch this later whenever it's convenient for you. I love to watch these kind of videos while I'm cooking, or I like to listen to them while I'm doing all the boring household chores. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for me, coaching was always nothing I wanted to do. I don't want to coach people. I'm the type of person who needs someone to tell me what to do. So for me, when I heard about this opportunity, the first time I heard about it, someone was talking to me about these shakes, and I'm like, no, I need a protein shake. I don't need your shake. So I totally shot the girl down. Sorry if you're watching, because you're super, super sweet about it. But the second time I was approached, I was in a completely different phase of our lives. So sometimes you hear about these things and you're like, no, this is not for me right now. 10 months down the road, it might be the perfect thing for you. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're listening throughout the next few days too, because it might not be the right time for you, but maybe next week is, or maybe, next month is, or something might happen that you're just like, can't stop thinking about it. So keep that in mind as we move forward over the next few days and just throughout your life in general, because this can change your life if you let it, which I think is just amazing. Okay, so backing up a little bit to my story. I too grew up in a small town. It's about 1,200 people, so everybody knew when you took a dump, it's kind of the small town stuff. Everybody talks about everybody. That's just all I knew. Big cities were kind of intimidating to me, so I still don't like to go to Chicago to this day, even though I have to go for work sometimes. But my husband was my kindergarten sweetheart, I guess you could say. Nap time was kind of interesting, but I'm just kidding. We didn't do anything like that. But we did know each other since kindergarten. So we've got some pretty cool pictures that are fun back like when we played soccer together. Just kind of fun part of our story. But now he's my absolute best friend. We have so much fun together, and I didn't even know that was an option. Like, I just thought marriage was you have a roommate and you guys share bills. I knew about love. Like, my parents gave a perfect example of what love looks like, but I just didn't know I was fortunate enough to find that myself. So I'm just super excited to have my partner in life be my best friend, and we can have fun together. And he is a better dancer than me, which kind of pisses me off, but whatever. Okay. So that's kind of the background story. Yes, we knew each other in kindergarten. We dated in like seventh grade. He was way too hairy for me to date, so I totally had to dump him, which I did, but decided when we were juniors that I'm like, you're kind of cute. Like, your hair's not bothering me too much anymore, so like we should date. So we did, and we ended up getting pregnant, which happens. But yeah, here we are. We're now almost 34. He just turned 34. I turned 34 on Friday, and we are going to be like 40 and have no kids because we started super early. So our kids are growing. We have two boys now. They're beautiful, handsome, but they also drive us crazy. They're so wound. They're all boy, which I guess is how you want it, right? So, of course, starting early in life, being teen parents, we couldn't afford to do very many things. Obviously, food stamps was it. I hated going to the grocery store because I would get my milk, you get, your baby carrots and your tuna all with your food stamps. And it was just more of a pride thing. It was super embarrassing. I just never thought I would get to that point in my life. But it was something that we needed to do. We pimped out our trailer. It is what it is. But it's just part of our story. So, looking back on it now, I'm glad we had those times where we struggle, because we appreciate the times that we have now. But, we ended up having another son about 4 years after my first one, 4.5 years, so about 4.5 years apart. Totally unexpected. Mason was supposed to be Hannah. I just always thought in my head I would have a boy first and then a girl. And Hannah Banana is obviously Mason now, which I love him to death. He is a spitting image of me, personality and all. So every day I look at him, I'm like, God, you're so much like me and you're so annoying. I must be annoying. I'm sorry if I'm annoying you right now. But anyway, So it's just fun just to watch people grow, and especially when you created those people. So a little bit more about after the second child. I was always super skinny growing up, and I was actually like an athletic build, so it was really toned. I wish I had that body back, but you know what? I will someday. But my point is, I didn't recognize myself anymore. After baby number two, I was about 30 to 40 pounds overweight. I had actually gained about, from this pre-pregnancy for both kids, I was about 70 pounds more than what I was when I was pre-pregnancy. Obviously, I was a teenager, but still, you still think about that stuff. So I didn't recognize myself anymore. I knew on the inside I was a skinny girl, like that's because that's how I grew up. And then on the outside, I'm like, who is this? And what did she eat? Oh my God. So, I learned that deep fried oysters probably aren't the best thing to eat every day because I got chubby, it is what it is. It's also just everybody's different in their pregnancies. So for me, I realized I needed to do something. I had no idea where to start. It's so overwhelming. And this was 10 years ago when I started on my journey. So I committed to myself and learned that if I set my mind to something, that I can do it. And I set my mind to exercising every single day and eating right. In 4 months, I lost 30 pounds with a Beachbody program, which was Slim in 6. If you guys haven't heard of that, I still do it every once in a while to like bring back those memories. And besides, I can do the workout with my eyes closed because I did it literally for 4 months straight. And when someone tells you that you have to do different workouts and things, you do you, girl, okay? Because I did the exact same workout. I couldn't get past the startup workout, which was the very first one. It was 25 minutes long. I did it every day for 4 months, the exact same workout. So obviously I've learned and I enjoy doing different things now, but just keep that in mind. Don't let people tell you how you have to do something, because just do you and just do something. Do it however you want to do it. But so I did that program. I had great results, absolutely loved it, fell back in love with myself. Then my husband finally decided to ask me to marry him. Thank God. So my wedding was kind of part of my reason for wanting to lose weight too. I didn't want to be a fat bride. I mean, I took the stairs at work because I'm like, I'm not going to be a fat bride. I don't want to look back on pictures and just be upset with myself. So, my point too is find something that motivates you. Maybe you've got something coming up, but just keep that as something as we move forward. But basically, life was great. I finally had a husband, I had kids. I actually ended up getting a great job. I was always a cashier, and I thought that's what I was destined to be. I just like, the keys and with money and stuff. I probably should have been a banker, but whatever. But I kind of fell into the job I have now, which has been amazing. I've been here for about 12 years, and they pay me really, really well, and I have great insurance. I'm super blessed to have a great job, but it doesn't fulfill my passion. I can do calendaring for training events all over the state of Illinois. I get to work with Diana Rauner this week. We're actually having a happy hour at the mansion. No, it's not with your taxes, I promise. It's all private money. But my point is, I have a great job. It's fun, but it doesn't fulfill my passion. And so I needed to do something, and I never knew what I wanted to do. I always knew I liked exercise. I just didn't know what to do to get to that point. So I always did group exercise. I love the camaraderie. I love being in the group and pushing myself because I'm super competitive. So I want to do better than the girl next to me or better than the person who I saw looking back at me in the mirror, which was myself. And so I pushed, and I had a trainer the trainers would always be like, oh my gosh, why aren't you up here training? I'm like, because I'm late everywhere. And if I got up there, I would be late to class. I'd be late to training. I'd be a terrible personal trainer. So again, I never knew what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something in the fitness world. And so when another trainer asked me, why aren't you doing this? She had a great body. I'm like, I don't want to look like you, but I want to look like kind of like you. I didn't tell her that because it's kind of rude, but she's so sweet. But she told me, she was like, I've been doing this Shakeology stuff, and I'm just like, sign me up. What do I need to do? So I had to save for a few months to get the P90X3 challenge pack, and totally went all in. I love that program. Tony Horton he's a hoot. He might not be your trainer, but he's somebody's trainer. He's pretty awesome too. So I did that program. I really, really liked it, and I just fell in love with it. I got thrown into a coaching boot camp because I really just signed up to be selfish for myself because I wanted to lose weight and look great. And what I found getting tossed into something that I had no idea what I was doing, it turned out to be this coaching opportunity. And I was like, because I love discounts. Obviously, I grew up poor, so I'm all about give me 5% off, 25%, I don't care. So I'm like, all right, let's just keep doing this. This is working. I loved the online groups because I could show up when it was convenient for me. I didn't have to be on someone else's time schedule. And I literally fell in love with this process. I fell in love with working with people. I fell in love with being able to connect with people all over the world. It's like a beautiful thing. And finding people that are like you is a pretty awesome feeling. So I started coaching and I kind of just, again, I have a full-time job. I have a really good job. So I just kind of dabbled in it here and there. And a few years went by. Life is great. I seriously have a great life. Absolutely love it. Yeah, there's crap happens, but for the most part, I'm a happy person. My parents really instilled that in me. And so we had a couple pitfalls come up. So first thing was my parents ended up getting hit by a drunk driver. It nearly killed them, and it scared the hell out of me. I realized work is not important. I'm a workaholic, so I would be at work all the time. And I told the leadership team that I worked with, I'm like, this is not as important as family. This is not as important as being around the people that you love. It was just really an eye-opening experience for me. Then a few months later, I actually, I was already a coach at that time, obviously running challenge groups here and there. I just loved it. But we went on a family vacation, and we went right before Christmas because I didn't want to go after Christmas because it was more expensive. So stupid me, again, trying to save money. So we went right before Christmas. We went skiing, snow skiing up in Minnesota, and I fell on the ski. Didn't even know that this was possible, but I actually got an open fracture, which I broke both bones in the lower half of my leg. So my shin bone actually came through the skin. Fortunately, it went back in, obviously broken beyond repair. I'm still struggling with it to this day, but I didn't let it stop me. And my first fear was, how am I going to coach people when I can't even walk? I couldn't get off the couch. I was bedridden for 4 months pretty much. My kids would make me coffee. I mean, it was awful. And working out was my vice. That's what I did to escape. That was my mental therapy because kids are assholes. And so can your husband. He can also be an asshole. So that was me. That was me not drinking or smoking cigarettes anymore. Exercise was my outlet, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? So I just dived right into the business full force. I'm like, give me all these distractions. If I can't help myself, I'm going to help as many people as I can. And I did. And I excelled in this business. And it was a huge eye opener to me. If you just put forth some effort, you can do whatever you set your mind to. It was so kind, though. Everybody was so wonderful, and I pushed myself, and I think it inspired a lot of people. I used my walker to do workouts. I used my crutches to do workouts. Basically, I was on crutches for 50 weeks. My goal was to not be on crutches for one full year, and I barely made it out. It was just a very interesting experience, but I tell you, and I tell everybody this, if it was not for this business, I would have went into a deep depression. Not being able to open your car door, get groceries. I mean, I remember crying one time because it was my husband's birthday, so it was last June, or 2 Junes ago, and I couldn't get the bags of groceries in the house to make him a cake. And it like broke my heart. And I couldn't carry the bags, my crutches, I couldn't walk. And it was just like this breakdown moment, when you hit that rock bottom and you're like, why is this happening to me? And, if it wasn't for this coaching, because we are taught in coaching to find things to help build you up. And so personal development is a huge thing for us. And as cheesy and as silly as it sounds, it is an amazing thing. It pulls you out of the darkness. And that moment I was like, I can do anything. I'm going to get past this. This is just part of my story. And what I really learned because of personal development is things don't happen to you. They happen for you. And as hard as that experience was, it was one of the best experiences of my life. It taught me to focus on other people and be able to ask for help. So it was just oddly an amazing experience. So it's hard to explain. I don't want to go too much into that, but it's just part of my story. So I still struggle today. Can't really do plyometrics, and I can't do, lots of jumping things, but I do what I can. And people understand that. We're all in different places in our fitness, and some people don't want to work out. Some people really want to work out hard, do like CrossFit. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Anybody can do this, what phase you're at. And so it just was just a crazy experience. I can't say that enough. But it really just showed me that I can do anything no matter where I'm at in my life. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be a fit coach. I don't have to be ripped. I can be whatever I am in the season of life, and I can still have this business and help other people and inspire other people, because that's really the goal that I have. And it, like Amy said in her video too, it is, as soon as you get that one person who was like, thank you for not giving up on me, thank you for believing in me, you figure out exactly why you do this. Because it was just amazing, the outpouring of people saying, if you can work out with your walker, then I can work out. Like, no excuses, kind of gives you that mentality. So again, it's just an amazing experience. Let me look over my notes here, because again, I'm not perfect. I like Post-its. This is how I keep my stuff organized. It's a terrible idea, but I have Post-its in my car too. So let's see. So I mentioned, kind of jumping into the boom camp. Now the season of life I'm in with coaching is, I finally got to go to my first summit just last weekend. It was amazing. Again, kind of in this business, you can kind of introvert yourself without realizing it. And I was totally doing that. I was like building this business on my own. It is all about a team. You get your best friends together, or you find best friends, and you get to work the business, and you get to have a like-minded community of people. It is a beautiful thing. So for me, the season I'm in right now is really working on building a team, and I have girls in Canada. I've never met them, but we talk all the time. I have a girl in California we talk to all the time. It's just a fun thing. Now, you might have tons of best friends in your town. I didn't have that because I only had like 5 people to pick from. Diverted. I'm just kidding. But I'm just telling you, you get to find people who have the same values, who don't want to nag about their husbands all the time, because we have bigger goals than to talk about where our husband put his dirty socks that day. And no, it all happens, but I just got sick of listening to all the women complain about their lives and how it sucked. And I just wanted something more for myself. So now I'm able to make my car payment every month. I'm able to get the kids, I just dropped money off for them to go to Sky Zone. Insert income disclaimer here too, because you do have to work at this business. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I don't just sit back and collect money, and I never would, because I would feel terrible about that. But you can earn whatever you want. So my current season of life is, I still have my full-time job that I'm right here in this building. I cannot move up in this business at all. I'm stuck. I have gotten promotions. I have a team, but I cannot get a manager's title without getting a college degree. And because I decided to have kids early on, obviously I didn't have time to go to college. So I'm kind of in a dilemma whether I want to go back to school, or whether or not I want to put up my effort into this business, or I want to do both. And so it's just something to think about, though, when you think about the power that you have within you and how capable you are. There are tons of coaches who've never even finished high school, and they are making a ton of money. So I just want you to think about that when you think about, limiting beliefs and what you can and can't do, and what you think looks like success, because success looks like whatever you want to make it. So, kind of going back a little bit too, because I don't want to talk all about income and stuff, but I have to share this part too, and then I'll be done and let you guys go. But my husband has not been a very supportive husband in terms of this business. He doesn't understand social media, first of all. He doesn't understand why I have to post pictures of my workouts. And I respect him very, very much so. But I also know that, in order to build a business, sometimes you have to put yourself out there a little differently. That doesn't mean you have to put yourself out there in a sports bra, but it means sometimes you have to take selfies or share your life. It's all about sharing. And so, I think this past weekend was a huge eye-opener for him. I had never, ever, ever went on a girls' trip. Again, starting a family really early, we always told each other, if we do anything, we do it together, because we're a team. And we finally just now, after almost 10 years of marriage, decided we can do things separately, and it's really helped us grow. And so this weekend was my first weekend to really do that. And I can't tell you, the last couple of days have been absolutely amazing. It's my heart is overflowing with love from him, love from the community. I mean, it's just an amazing thing. And so the other thing that is super cool is this human that I love so much hated Shakeology. Absolutely hated it. He's like, it tastes like cardboard, Jessica. I'm like, you're dumb. It does not taste like cardboard, first of all. That might be like the mushrooms that you're tasting. I don't know. Not really. But my point is he just always went into it with a negative mindset. He didn't want to like it because he didn't like what his wife was doing. So he finally this week opened up and started drinking Shakeology. So I made him the vegan vanilla. I did put some Swiss Miss cocoa in it, not gonna lie, but he's been drinking it and he's been noticing changes. And so it just stick with it. 4 years is a long time to be pushing through this and be working my business in bed while he's sleeping because I didn't want to take time out away from our family because I don't. I want to be present with the family. And so for him to just be able to embrace me and my journey, it's an amazing thing. So I'm just excited. I know I don't look like it, but I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to share this with you, and I hope you guys really absorb some information the next few days because if you let this, it will change your freaking life, like in so many ways. People think it's just a transformation. It is way more than that. And it's, again, I'm not a teacher because I don't articulate things well, but I'm telling you, if you seriously open up to this opportunity, you're going to have it's just going to be amazing. So stay tuned. You guys get to hear from some more coaches here. And I'm just excited to share the opportunity with you. So I do have to go back to work because, again, I do work full time. But, if you guys have questions or if I think of anything else, I can put them in the comments or I'll post about it. But feel free to reach out to the coach who invited you to this opportunity because it is exactly that. It's an opportunity. If you embrace it and you take it, and you just be completely open-minded, it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to hop off here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys had an awesome lunch. And if you're eating right now, I don't care if it's pizza. I still love you because pizza is my favorite. So have a good one. Bye, guys.